G'day, welcome back to another video. Here we are going to every single mid-southeast ground in one day. Let's see if we can do it. I've got the Yarns of Rubbish boys here and we'll go and have a look at every ground. So here's Port MacDonnell, the Demons. 600 people live here. It's very smoky today. It's not usually like this. No. It's just because of the bushfires over in Dimbulla way. But yeah, the Demons, they originally named Sea Rovers when they started up. Bit of a different name, but then they moved to the mid-southeast in 1959 and I've played here ever since. The southernmost club in South Australia, let alone the mid-southeast. So we're right near the beach here. The ground, how can we describe the ground here at the moment? Because we are in summer, but
there are potholes galore, malnourished.
Yeah, malnourished is a good way to put it. They've got like these little bits here. I reckon they put grass on the top so it grows better or something. But
yeah, it wasn't like this a couple of years ago for the grand final.
No, because I was here for that grand final and it was really nice.
Spectacular.
That sums up the field.
Yeah, these like little patches here, and the sprinklers are, well, not the strongest I've seen, but anyway, at least it's still trying to keep it green.
Definitely caring for the ground.
Yeah, they're trying to put work into it anyway. Yeah. So we're still early in the year here, so it's all good. But some of the players from Port Mac, the Murdoch brothers, Brody and Jordan Murdoch, both played AFL. They came from here originally. There's no actual school in Port Mac. They go to school in Allendale, which is just finished. Allendale, which is a very small town near here, but it's even smaller than Port Mac. They got the new scoreboard here. And Nangwarry Toyota, I think, is a long time sponsor here, maybe. A lot of sponsors at the ground, actually. But they don't have a proper fence around, which is handy when you're having a kick. Because you don't have to jump over the fence, especially if you're short like me. I think Port Mac is known for its rock lobsters fishing. Yeah.
The bay, obviously, where they have a lot of cray boats.
Yeah.
There. I think there's a cray pot sign down there for one of the companies that do it.
Oh yeah, behind the goals, cray pots. So that's what this place is known for. It's fishing. Obviously being on the ocean. Here we are at Bay 13 apparently. Beer $6. They have a bit of a bar here on this side, and this is actually where I stood for the Mid-South East Grand Final a couple of years ago, where Kalangadoo defeated Hatherleigh. But Hatherleigh ended up winning last year, so they got their revenge season. Bit of an old toilet there, which is covered up by the new scoreboard. Brownie is in the bathtub here. Don't reckon they probably don't need a refrigerator in winter here, I don't reckon. Alright, here we are back at the other side of the ground. They got some seats here. Looks like they're from some sort of stadium because all the numbers are in random order. So I don't know where they're from. Often grounds will have seats from Amy Stadium, but I don't know if these are. Maybe they are. And the bottoms were cut off. But a bit of a area here to watch the game and get away from the wind. Here we got the Port Mac Demon. Is this, must be... No, this isn't the canteen, it's just a bar. Because the canteen's down there, I remember.
Bar inside there for the behind glass type.
Oh yeah, another one. So you got 3 bars here.
Apparently, I didn't know about that one. And
that might just be used for like special games or whatever.
This one I thought was like
the main one.
Like special occasions and that barbecue and whatnot.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Yeah.
It
was pretty full in the grand final. And they had some sort of roast day there. Looks like it could be a TV in here locked up.
Or a dartboard.
Or a dartboard. You have to be tall though. How are you going to reach that? I can't reach it. Unless you jump up on here. There we go. I can reach it now.
20
Only Ruckman can use that one. So here's the old scoreboard and timekeepers box, but they have kept it locked up. Probably for good reason. But there we go. There's a bowls club. Actually, there's people playing bowls at the moment. Early starting today. But you can see in there, they did use this when I was here as well, just as a secondary scoreboard, but there you go, old scoreboard. Do not touch, thanks. Yeah, that's right. They do have manners, don't they? Instead of just saying "do not touch," it's also a bit of a thank you as well.
Very polite down here today.
So here's a club rooms. It looks like these could be maybe the old change rooms here, because I reckon the other change rooms are at the back here now. Yeah, but these ones look like old ones. We'll have a look, sneaky look through here. Bins, a lot of bins, but it looks like, yeah, it looks like you could hang your stuff up there back in the old days. It was opened up in 1978. This club room, and I have been in here before, and there's a bit of stuff in there, but sadly can't have a look today. So here's a canteen here. Handwritten prices.
Damn, I was hoping for chips and gravy.
I thought they were actual pies in the pie warmers, but there you go. All right, here we are at Kongorong. 200 people live here supposedly, but there definitely isn't that many people living here. No. Just farms around the place. Kongorong are the Hawks, but wear a Richmond jumper, which is probably the most unique thing about them.
Very unique.
They only started in 1953, I believe. Might say it on the signs up here, but which is pretty late in the scheme of things. I guess people moved here on farms and that. Sadly, one of the Yarns boys actually plays here. Jalen.
And he's hungover. Hungover to be here.
I think he had a big night last night, and we're here on a Saturday morning, so or Sunday morning. So yeah, he didn't make it unfortunately, but he could have told us all about the ground, but we'll never know now.
You know all the spots on the ground of where to miss from.
But yeah, anyway, I think he lives in the Mount, so a lot of players come from the Mount, don't they?
Yeah, I think there is a few that are from the Mount, that's for sure. There's a few that I know of. But yeah, I'm not sure. I reckon the rest would have to be from about here, something.
Yeah, there's all around here.
Yeah.
There's one over there running that ran past before, an absolute gun cricketer as well.
All right.
I think there's a good shot. That's him there.
Couple of lads going for a run. Yeah. So there are definitely not enough people here just to have a club. But there's farms around here. Lots of little farms around the place. The last premiership was in 1988, so that actually got the longest streak without a premiership. Cricket. They actually play cricket here, so it's pretty cool.
Hey, that's airpole written on.
There you go. It's pretty old. You can barely read it.
I don't know how big that
K&S Ampole. So the only player I know of note from here is Warwick McGinty, who played 100 games for Glencoe. I don't believe there's been any AFL players from here. It's a very small area. You'll probably find that most of these clubs in the mid-south east get players from other towns. They're not really big enough to just get players from that town alone. An electronic scoreboard here with the Thomas Foods sponsorship on the top. Quite a lot of sponsor signs here, but some of them are a little bit older than others, but that's all right. So yeah, they only started in 1953, joining from the southeastern border B grade competition prior to that, which is a bit later than usual, but yeah, I guess maybe during that time in the 50s there was a lot of farms popping up around this area and they started up a footy club. This was put here, upgrades in 2012. The Hawks change rooms in there. Oh, here we go. We got footy in there. There's actually a Red Bull. Yeah, have you seen them before? There's
they still do them now.
Heater down there. I've seen them before, yeah. But
not a bad view.
timekeeper's box. Yeah, not too bad.
You can turn the scoreboard on. No.
Yellow cards to be displayed when timekeeper's box in the window when there's a yellow card. Show that to CJ, I reckon.
Where is he?
Down there. He deserves a yellow card.
For use when a player is yellow carded, they shall be ordered from the ground for 15 minutes, 10 minutes for junior and senior colts. So that's what we call the Brody Fitzner rule.
Right.
Brody Fitzner.
We got the red card one there too.
A few cops in there and
Oh yeah,
like
you can actually see.
old coaches and
Yeah,
stuff.
nice in there.
Yeah. Some old Kongorong stuff in here. The bar. A few premierships. I noticed the last senior premiership was 1988. Which is a little while ago now, but it There must have been some other premierships more recently.
Yeah, we had a couple of under 14s ones, 20, was it 21, 22, I think.
Yeah. Not too long ago. A lot. So you can see they wear the Richmond jumper, even though they call themselves the Hawks. Some older ones up there. It might be looks like the full squad or something. I don't know.
Oh, I thought this was for a second.
No, we don't want to break in.
It was nothing alarming one.
Yeah. Get kicked out of Kongorong. There's not many places to go.
We'd go emoji
Chips and gravy, $5.50 is decent.
That's cheaper than the bay, wasn't it?
At least they've
Yeah.
followed the rules here. No smoking, and there is no smoke.
Yeah, well, at least someone knows the rules.
Until after the final siren, so you actually can, because unless they had blown a siren this morning.
I remember it was in the netball.
Oh, it's in the netball.
Yeah, it was in the problems. That's why I was like, I'll go check just in case.
Yeah.
Actually, on a little tangent.
Yeah.
So you actually have a good connection here.
Yeah, spiritual home, I'd say. Never played here, but I did come watch as a kid. Used to run on at half time, snag a few goals.
That's why you can't miss nowadays.
Yeah, look.
This is where they do the warm up.
Oh,
Both teams end up back here at the same time doing warm up.
That's a long way from the change room.
Yeah, they're decent run.
Good pitch.
Oh, there we go. This is probably the primary school ground. There's a cricket pitch there. So there is a primary school here.
Yeah, but this is where they just primarily use it for a warm up during the footy season.
There you go.
Their sports day ground too.
Better surface than Port Mac.
Really?
You would think so.
Yeah,
Well,
probably.
this and probably the footy ground.
Yeah.
I'm assuming their sports
Yeah.
day is probably pretty big.
Actually, in the timekeeper's box, there is an old bell.
Smoke out, boys!
Smoke out.
That's awesome. It's pretty cool that that's still there. Cricket ball.
Cool.
One for the collection.
That looks like in good condition too.
Oh, I'm pretty used to that.
I did mention Amy Stadium before when they knocked that down. These would be some of the seats from there. You see them all at South Australian footy grounds. Some more than others, but yeah, they've got some here, which is pretty cool. Would have been good for the grand final they had here this year. So here we are at Glencoe. This is not a football ground, as you can probably tell, but it was. There's the Glencoe hole there, and somewhere over here was the original Glencoe oval.
Not very flat.
It is not, but I guess it was down here where that hay is and that little yard. But it's still not that flat, is it really? Yeah, it probably was. Often,
Worst ground possible, rolling their ankles.
yeah. So Glencoe sort of like spread out, and I think this is Glencoe East, and then they moved to West.
Huge, yeah.
And then over there is a old tennis court where CJ's having a hit. Glencoe had 3 tennis clubs at one stage, I was told.
Him wearing that shirt doesn't do any favours, does it? No, it really doesn't. He makes us look like idiots.
So Glencoe started up in 1910 and they moved to their other ground in 1940. So they actually won their first premiership whilst they were playing here. They were the very first Mid-South East Premier in 1936.
Cool.
So it's pretty hard to imagine now, but we'll go to the actual ground and have a good look there. They are very tall. Hello. So here's the actual Glencoe Oval. The town is 600 people, or at least in the area, and it's split over big area.
Yeah,
Which
very
is,
big area.
it's really weird. We had to drive like at least 5 minutes to get here.
Even more birds here than we're at Kongorong.
And a lot of birds here. There's some blokes here fixing up the fence, it seems, and I think the sponsor signs have been taken down. Very tall goals here. And it looks quite good. I think they had a cricket game here just recently.
Yeah, they had the charity T20 match.
Yeah,
Out here.
bit of a cricket game here recently. Got the Angus cattle in the back having a graze. So don't kick it too wayward, Broomie, otherwise the cows might grab it.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't trust it.
They start there and they go all the way around there.
Jeez, a lot of courts
a lot
here.
of court and the netball just in there as well.
Oh yeah,
But the
there's a big tennis club here, like considering the area.
yeah, it's alright. They have a Div 1, like a strong Div 1. They've got less nowadays. They had a Div 3 premiership team last year.
Yeah,
2 years ago they won Div 1. and Div 2, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
Same year, which is pretty unique.
Yeah.
Got a few juniors, but every club's struggling these days.
Yeah.
So.
Probably the best one we've been to in terms of surface for sure. Looking after it for cricket, obviously.
Yeah.
But Glencoe's the second most. They've won the second most premierships in the mid-south east, so they've been quite a strong club over the years.
Considering how close they are to your Millicent's, Tant, all that sort of stuff. So
It's sort of the central location of the league, really,
yeah.
being one of the original clubs. So the most notable player I could find from Glencoe was a guy called Michael Jones, who won 2 male medals here, but he played for 8 clubs. And this is crazy, I never heard of anyone doing this. He won 17 A-grade best and fairest in his career, which I think that has to be a record. That's crazy. So
He had to take the umpires out for this.
yeah, or at least the president or whoever's doing the voting, the coach.
More than dinner at that point.
Once again, Amy Stadium seats here. Quite a lot of them, and there's even other seats in front of the change rooms there. 49. This is his lucky number. And then there's some older ones over here too, so there's no shortage of stadium seating here. I think you can seat everyone in Glencoe pretty much at this ground.
The urinal is on this wall, and you can watch the game whilst you're on the urinal.
Oh, there you go. It's like it's at the MCG or something like that.
Yeah, legit. You can watch.
So here's the club rooms here. There's 3 separate buildings rather than just one main one. This probably looks like the oldest one. We can grab a jumper for the collection in here if it was open, but it's not. 100-year jumper, I assume, being one of the oldest clubs, and there's a few jumpers there. Probably training jumpers as well. On a board up here. But the one thing that's weird about them is the name, the nickname, the Murphys.
Yep.
It's like Spud
Farmers.
Spud Farmers, and that makes them Murphys.
I guess so, yeah.
I think it's like an Irish thing, is it? Or I don't know.
Not sure.
I
But
think-
Glencoe, there's a lot of Spud Farmers here.
We have the Spud train out. I feel like they've got a Spud there called the Murphy.
They do.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And I think they've got a mongrel.
That's the
Murphy, something
connection.
like that. So
Spud farming is big here, and that's sort of why they got the unique nickname.
Yeah.
So here's the change rooms, and we can see the club song. Do you know that, Brad?
No?
Spud.
He has. He hasn't yet to learn it, so we'll find out later.
That's where they put their team list
I
up.
believe it's based off the Sydney one.
Oh yeah, you could see it in there. Oh, yeah.
East one.
And that too. We won't leak that one.
Oh, Andy's good at leaving stuff. I leave it to the Suns though.
Trial game against Millicent. They actually used to play against Millicent. Millicent used to be called the Millicent Rovers and played in the Mid-South East League back in the day, but that was, I believe, prior to World War II. So we're visiting all the grounds after World War II today. Next stop, Tantanoola, a place with 200 people. The Tigers, but they wear red and white. Sort of like a North Adelaide sort of style with a V, but then the tiger is on it. There is a factory here, Kimberley-Clark, which is probably the main employer of the area. It's a little bit more old school than the other grounds. The goalpost looks fairly new though, and the surface is quite decent actually. A little bit long at the moment, but come season it will be pretty good. A little bit more rustic this place, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like an old showground.
Yeah, it probably was, yeah. Tant show. There's one of Tant's finest kicks. You got the sort of the older light towers there. Haven't quite upgraded them yet, but they do have an electronic scoreboard over here, which is good to see. An older one on this.
Got to catch up your record of 3.
There's actually 2 timekeepers box. That's the older one there.
Change rooms,
These ones.
they're good.
Yeah.
Carpet's a bit
It looks like it's
torn up, but
old station house or something like that you see in the outback, like with the big
Yeah, it does look a bit like that.
big veranda on it. But yeah.
We didn't really have like a set warm-up area here, so it's
Oh,
usually just
okay.
like around all the parked cars.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Out the back there.
Yeah,
They've won six premierships and sort of spread them out over the years, so they haven't really had like one.
good ground. You can get a decent chunk of people, but
Yeah,
I think they've got like standing. There's not really that much seating here.
yeah. No, it's all right though. Got the sponsor signs spread out a bit like Port Mac.
There's a bloody ice bath in there that you can start up.
Oh, okay.
Never used it because I'm young and prosperous.
Club rooms here.
Yeah, canteen is pretty close.
Canteen. The Tigers. Do you know the story of the Tigers?
Not really. Used to be a tiger down here.
Apparently there was a tiger in Tantanoola. At least on the pub, there's a tiger on the top of it.
That was probably the one they're talking about. That drunk coming out the pub.
We've got the fan going on at the moment.
Yeah, the bar's pretty decent. Canteen's not too bad. They've got a long list of like treasurers and all that. That goes halfway down the wall. And
Can't see too much. Actually, two current AFL players from here, believe it or not. So Toby Pink, Toby Pink's one. I think he won a under-17s premiership here.
yeah, I trained with his brother while I was here.
Yeah. So there's a few Pinks around this area. So
There's 2 or 3.
he's one, and there's also Angus Clark as well.
Yes.
He's-
Played here for a bit.
He's played here, and then he played for East. Yeah.
I coached him in under.
East was the
14s,
big
I
one.
believe.
There you go.
Yeah, East was his big one.
So he's from a farm around here, and then he went and played in Western Border, which is a stronger league. And then went to Glencoe last year, and he's got picked up by Essendon. So
He's a quick boy. Won our 2K time trial his first couple of days at the club.
yeah,
Yeah, he's pretty
Even-
nifty.
He's got a 2K time trial now at his home ground to compare.
Yeah, just as quick.
right, I go for it.
If they had a power 8 at the end or 10.
He's actually mentored by Mason Redmond, I think.
Yeah, I think he's living
Because-
at the moment, or he was when he first moved.
Yeah, because Redmond's from Millicent, which is very close to here. So a lot of players from Millicent come out and play for 10, I believe.
Redmond cooked him a steak on the night of the 2K time trial because you beat him. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, so Millicent does supply a few players to different ground clubs in the mid-south east, being a bigger town.
Bonk.
There's the old timekeeper's box, and I believe there was one of them at South.
Yeah, it's normally the exit for the losing team.
You jump out. Jump out.
I reckon there'd have to be a stingy ladder in there, I reckon.
Yeah. There must have been a ladder back when they used to use that timekeeper's box. Netball at the back. The club that interests me the most in terms of not having an actual town is Hatherleigh. We're not that far from Millicent, but there's not much here at Hatherleigh itself. There is a big eagle. The Eagles, Hatherleigh. They wear the West Coast jumper. Started wearing it in '93, I believe, and originally they wore blue with a white V way back in the old days, but very much the Eagles now. It's a very cool bloody structure, sculpture. Please don't touch. I don't know. It says feed. Please don't feed. But yeah, there's not much here at all at Hatherleigh in terms of a town, but there is a football club and they're quite strong. They just won the A-grade premiership. Traditionally they weren't a stronger club, but they've been very strong in the last 20-25 years. Given that we're fairly close to Millicent, a lot of players do come out of Millicent. Some people are from farms around here, and then others are from Beachport. Beachport is the town that's closest, well, the club that's closest to Beachport is Hatherleigh. We will go to Beachport, and there's not a club there, even though it is an actual town. Hatherleigh sort of isn't, but that's sort of an interesting quirk. The most notable player out of Hatherleigh, well, there's probably two in the AFLW. So Sarah and Jess Allen were both from Beachport and played their football and netball here at Hatherleigh. So we got the netball here. and they play junior football. And I think Sarah Allen actually won a netball and football premiership on the same day, which is pretty good feat. How do we rate the ground here?
Bigger than Glencoe.
Yeah,
It's nice, doesn't it?
it's nice.
Either way, I can't imagine it'd be very windy.
Nah, well, it's got all the trees around it, so keeps the wind out. And they put a bit of sand down, it seems, to make it a bit flatter,
I think
maybe.
the surface, Glencoe's surface is probably better.
Yeah,
And maybe the amount of space they had for people to stand.
because this doesn't get used for cricket. I suppose the people that play football for Hatherleigh play cricket for Rendlesham, I believe, which is a very similar place to this. Like just a couple houses, I guess. I think it's probably more at Rendlesham.
Yeah, Rendlesham's definitely bigger.
Yeah, but they don't have a footy club there. They have a cricket club only. I brought a jumper out of my collection here. I do actually have a Hatherleigh jumper. It's got the Scott's Transport sponsor on the back, Scott's Agency. So Scott's is yeah, big sponsor. It's got the 90s West Coast Eagles design here. And that was actually their away jumper at the time. But this one's probably from, I was going to say like 2010-ish maybe, 2000s. Once again, Amy Stadium seating. There is a lot of it here for the football and the netball over here. So no shortage of seats getting around this area. Fairly standard sort of stuff in there. Honour boards, the cattle scheme. A lot of country footy clubs have cattle that they raise and the profits go to footy clubs. So Hatherleigh won the premiership in 1971 and then they had a massive premiership drought. And ended up winning in 2002 and West End did an ad about them. But the ad wasn't filmed here. It was actually filmed in Adelaide at Brighton Oval. So they recreated the grand final, and then they also recreated the Nangwarry players. They just got like people to wear Saints jumpers in the ad. So I mean, most people wouldn't know that, but it definitely wasn't filmed at the right ground. It was filmed in Adelaide. Nigel's Bar, $6 beer. Still got the social distancing.
$6 beer, mate. Yeah, we can help. What do we got?
VB, West End Draft,
Running water.
Melbourne.
We got
Choice.
That's choice. All right, we'll jump up here then. Timekeeper's box, scoreboard. Jeez, it is bloody hot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Roof's coming down here.
Yeah.
We got the cards. Green. What's a green card do?
In hockey, that's 2 minutes.
You know, reverse.
Oh, for when a stretcher enters the playing surface.
What's the red one?
When you do something bad.
City, I took a 6.
6.
More up here.
So there's a Western Border sign. I don't know what that's. This is interesting. Horsham District Football League. There must have been an interleague game here.
Western Border Football League.
Yeah, so Western Border. What else have we got here? Can we have a look at them?
Got a good view.
Got the numbers there. There is a good view. Over the bar.
Window on this fucking joint. Jesus. Let me out.
Glencoe. Port Mac. Tent.
It's got Kybe on it.
Kalangadoo. Oh, it's Kybe.
South is on the back of that.
They have women's here, I
What's that,
think.
South?
Yeah, because they have women's
Yeah,
here.
the women's
Oh yeah,
players.
Lions take most women's football.
Hatherleigh also have a women's side, which is interesting. I think Hatherleigh's sort of like the Millicent team. I don't know if Millicent has their own.
Deadbugs.
I don't know if they have their own team. Can't remember off the top of my head, but there's the women's league.
Give him another yellow. It's
Limestone
less
Coast
for you.
Women's. I'm too scared to press the siren.
Give him a straight red.
Can I press it? Can I press it?
Okay, go for it.
If you give me permission to press it.
Yes. Okay, let's. So the siren does work, and it wasn't anyone here that pressed it.
I really did not expect that to work.
Why not?
I did. That's why I didn't want to press it. So pretty much here is the rest of Hatherleigh. Community Hall opened up in 1954. They probably used that as the football club rooms at one stage, like a lot of places. The ground is actually named Bruce Keatley, or the gate is named Bruce Keatley Memorial Gate, and the Keatley is spelled out with different bits of tools, which is interesting. Next to the football ground is actually the Hatherleigh golf course, and this closed down just in recent times. I think it was just last year maybe they closed it down. So here we are, $10 per day, but if you're a student it's $5. At least it used to be. Please pay your green fees. You could probably come here pretty easily without paying it. No.
One green.
See what there is of it.
Let's play around a football golf.
Actually, that's a good business idea, isn't it? Repurpose this.
And they got the Amy seats.
Yep. Even at the golf course. We hardly have them up in Nangwarry. Send them all down here.
Active, I do that stuff.
Here is the old golf hole. But that's about it. That's all that's left at Hatherleigh. Next up, the longest trip we took was to Robe, and here we are, the Roosters, and there's no fence here. You can just go in. It's a very open ground, very windy. Being another coastal town, probably the trendiest town in the southeast in general. If someone famous comes here, they probably come to Robe. Robe has 1,200 people, so it's the only club that has over 1,000 people at its town. So it genuinely is all the people from Robe play for Robe. It's not like the other clubs. Very much a holiday town as well, so it's getting looked after. They play cricket. I think their cricket team actually just finished. I think they wound up this year, but yeah, still gets looked after. A really nice ground. No nets behind the goals, but still pretty good. Robe joined from the Southern Ports League until that finished in 1965. They were the most successful team in that league, winning 12 premierships. So yeah, they wanted to challenge themselves in a stronger league and move to the mid-south east, and that caused the Southern Ports League to finish, and Kingston went to the Kalangadoo and Robe went to the mid-south east. So that's sort of why they don't really fit in with the other mid-south east clubs, because they joined much later, out of necessity.
Feels like we're on the other side of the planet for mid-south east.
It does.
Same right.
It's way out the way from the other clubs. Definitely the longest trip here. The ground has a golf course around it, and that itself has no fence around it either, so it's kind of a bit of a weird thing here at Robe. There's not many fences. It's they don't trust each other pretty much. Here we are. There is the Dawson family sign. So Jordan Dawson is from here, the Crows captain, and his family has a sign at the football ground for some reason. I guess they're just a sponsor. Uh-oh. And that's going in as well.
Oh, did you...
The weird thing here is how close the fence is to the ground here, but I'm sure the pockets are very skinny.
This is the line.
That's the line there, so there's not much for your forward pockets here to deal with. Seems like they could have put the fence a bit further back, but the weird thing here is that they have two parts of parking, so you can park there and park on top, and down the other end here, past the club rooms, there's a few sections you can park on, so there's a few spots to actually watch the footy here, which is good to see. So with the sponsor signs here, my favourite one, apart from the Dawson one over here, would be Bucko and Partners, because it's got... Have you ever seen a sign with emojis on it?
No, I was thinking that before.
Bro, why they got emojis on here? Like, put something proper.
They must be just chill guys.
They are very chill, yeah. Here is the scoreboard, very old school. This was put here in 1962 by the Robe residents in memory of A.L. Hatherleigh, and that was prior to them actually joining the Mid-South East League. That's how old this is. It's one of those ones that you twist, or yeah, like that. It wouldn't have been there originally, but that's what they've got there now. Let's see what signs we got in here. It's kind of sketchy to get up here, but anyway, we got a Glencoe one there. What else we got? Mount Burr, Hatherleigh. There is a Nangwarry one, probably from a practice game, I'd say, because they don't play in the same league. Being a coastal town, it is very sandy in here. On the other side of Nangwarry is Kaiby, so another Nangwarry team. Must have been from a trial game pre-season, I'd say. So Robe are the Roosters, but they wear sort of a Swans design. They wear the South Melbourne design now at the moment. Prior to that, they used to wear, well, they just changed this year, so they used to wear one with a rooster on it, with a bit of a V, white with a V. Here's where you can actually park your cars up on 2 different levels and watch the game. So I mentioned Jordan Dawson is from here, but another not iconic player was actually a guy by the name of Michael Timms. He was listed at 190 centimetres and 130 kilos. So a very, very big guy. Dominated his defenders for many years.
Looks like a long CJ.
I think it was from 84 to 92. He kicked 100 goals every single year.
That's not me.
And sometimes he kicked 150 goals. Most of those years were with the Robe. Some of them, I think he might have played 1 year in the Western Border. And then other years were with Nangwarry. But he was so popular that he was actually on West End ads. So the local TV station here, Channel 8, they upload or they sent these videos in from the games to West End, and they used it in a commercial, and it went very well. So they got him back for another commercial and branded him as the Ledge. And he was like playing cricket in this ad and just like dominating. But yeah, so he was sort of a famous name from Robe.
West End of the day.
Great knock, Ledge.
It's the West End of the day.
How many rows are there?
More Amy Stadium seats.
Yeah, a few.
A lot of them around here. This club room or this change room was put here in 2008. And here's the new jumpers for this year, I believe, in that box. They might even be the old jumpers, but on the boards here for Robe. Don't know if it includes Southern Ports League or not, just says Mid-South East there. Chips and gravy here, $4.
That is half the price of what was it?
Hatherleigh.
I don't know.
Hatherleigh need to
Kongorong.
up their game. No, Kongorong was $5.50. I
Yeah.
know all the price for chips and gravy.
Determined.
Yeah,
So-
a man that knows the chip end of gravy.
Usually they're around about $5 and up or north.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Up or down
Hatherleigh
from there.
$7. You need to up or down the game.
So one of the weird things about the Robe ground is that it's right next to a cemetery. I don't think this is a current cemetery, but an old cemetery next to the netball and then the footy's there. So I've never seen a cemetery so close to a sporting ground. It's kind of grim, but kind of cool in the same way. All right, a bit of a wild card. Most people wouldn't recognise this as a footy ground, but we're at Beachport, another coastal town, which doesn't have a current ground, obviously, but on the golf course here is an old ground where they used to play cricket and football as well. So Beachport is a genuine town compared to some of these other places like Hatherleigh and Kalangadoo, or probably Kongorong more so. But anyway, there's 800 people supposedly. I found 500 people when I researched.
Yeah.
So that's more than enough to have a Mid-South East club.
There's a big lot of houses all that side, and then there's all the beach shacks and that.
Yeah.
Surely there's always one or two tourists that'll pay Rego for a week.
Yeah, it's a big tourist town, obviously more so during summer, but the cricket club was here until not too long ago, a few years ago I think. And hopefully don't get hit by a golf course ball, but I think we're missing it on this. The golf course doesn't actually go on the cricket ground, I don't think.
No, hoping not.
Club rooms there, I'm assuming. So the football club played in the Southern Ports League until that finished in 1965, and then they didn't continue. You can just see the crease there. Marking guard, but I believe they were known as the Ports, Beachport. And in their later years they wore blue with a gold sash, but they actually wore Carlton jumpers in the Mid-South East League with a monogram, BFC. So that's a...
Best fried chicken.
but yeah, a bit of an unknown one, Beachport.
They've still got 3 tennis teams, I think.
Really?
In the Southern Ports League.
Yeah.
Or they've got 3 A grade. They got 1 club, but 3 A grade.
Oh, yeah.
What's the end of it for this channel?
Yeah. But yeah, obviously not as busy here during winter to have a football and netball club. There's no netball.
Teams in 1 grade.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that hurt. We were sitting in the car too long.
But the people from Beachport, and I mentioned the Allen sisters that play in the Crows AFLW, they're from Beachport, so if they want to play football, netball, they play for Hatherleigh. So Beachport did play in the Southern Paws League until that finished, but they actually spent a couple years in the Mid-South East, 1947 to 50. I believe Glencoe didn't want them to join the league when they when they wanted to join. They preferred some of the other options, but they did join the league, and maybe they would have made the right decision, Glencoe, because they didn't last too long. So this oval here is the Dick McIntyre Memorial Oval. You wouldn't even really know it's an oval driving past nowadays.
It's not a triangle currently.
So we got the golf fairway here, and then the old cricket club here, and then just golf course all surrounded by it. Even got people playing out here today. So bit of a trip now, but we made it to Mount Burr, home of the Mozzies. The most successful team in the Mid-South East in terms of senior premierships. They've won 22. Pretty much a secondary team of Millicent for a long time. We're only 10 k's out of Millicent in a little bit of a town here with 200 people. Very nice mural over there of the Mozzies. Yeah, so plenty of premiership cups. They're originally Millicent Centrals, so they played in Millicent to start off with and then moved out here later on, and an inaugural club of the Mid-South East. Very short goalpost here.
20.
Probably the smallest. The Kalangadoo ones we haven't been to yet, pretty small, but
Looks like they've been extended at the top.
yeah, it's pretty just a little bit of an extension. Sometimes you find that point posts will just have like a little bit of an extension on them, but this one's a little bit bigger than that. Mount Burr were Millicent Centrals until 1939, so their first couple of years were in Millicent. There was a cricket club here in 1932, so I think the cricket club probably started here first and then the footy followed. The town was built around the timber mill, which is just past the ground here, and that was privatised in the 90s. The timber mill, unfortunately, there's a few towns we'll go to where the timber mills have closed down. It closed down in 2000, so brought a Mount Burr jumper from the collection. I rate it as one of the best in South Australia, to be honest. Got the Mozzie on there with the stripes below, a bit like the Collingwood sweeping pie.
Very individual.
And the green and gold.
The retro faster pasta.
Yeah, I love the faster pasta. So they're actually Mount Burr
Faster pasta.
United, which is interesting. But this jumper was actually in my in the main corner.
Congratulations, good to have you on board.
When I had my jumpers displayed, that was in there. Up here on the hill we have Cairn Hill, as it's described. Pretty good spot actually on the hill. Seems like a bit of a downward slope to that end of the ground from here. But look, oval's looking real nice. It doesn't seem like do they play cricket here?
They must, surely.
Well, we found the cricket bowl, so I guess they must do. Have a look at
That's
the
a-
The
pitch.
juniors were in the Mount
Yeah.
Junior comp, while the seniors are in the Millicent comp for quite some time. I'm
Oh.
not sure if the juniors are still in the junior comp.
Yeah.
I mean, Mount Gambier comp.
Yeah. So you'll find that a lot of the Mid-South East towns and clubs were based around the timber industry, and this is one of those clubs. You'll find it even more so with the ones coming up next. Yeah, this is pretty old school. Unless they wheel out an electronic scoreboard, sometimes clubs have one on a trailer or something.
Yeah, that's what they have it. Now I call it hockey.
Yeah, all right, okay, they have that. This is actually open.
You have to do it.
What's he doing?
He has to do it. That's not...
Oh my god! What the fuck? That wasn't a siren.
That was a
That was a horn.
That is 2 sirens.
All right.
Fucking deafen CJ.
It's a pretty rare siren. There's like how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sirens then, and one of them's gone off, and it sounds bloody strange.
Hatherleigh, you've definitely got the upper hand on siren. That's
Yeah, Mighty Mozzie's mural with all the premierships up the top. A lot. Well, they sort of spread them out in the 70s. I think they were probably the strongest. Their best player from Mount Burr is probably John Seabohm, who's the father of Emily Seabohm, the swimmer, but he played 300 games for Glencoe. Here we have chips and gravy, $5, so that's pretty standard.
chips and gravy, $5.
I wouldn't have actually pictured this area to be the canteen.
I'll allow the $5.
I thought the canteen would actually be up in the club rooms up here. So here's the next ground, Kalangadoo. 280 people live here, and they're known as the Magpies, but they wear black with a white V, as it is on the time box there. Very small gulls. There's a war memorial as you drive in. There's been a few of them so far with the Mid-SC grounds. They were an inaugural club of the Mid-South East Club and won 13 premierships, so they've been quite successful. And Brad has spotted a hole in the ground. It's not a sinkhole. We actually didn't mention the sinkhole at Glencoe. No. That's one thing I should have mentioned.
Oh, yeah. Whoops.
My bad.
That was going to be my strong point. I was just going to bring it out. And a fun fact about Glencoe.
Yeah.
I'll get that up.
I don't think Nangwarry to you.
Not quite a sinkhole, but... So Kalangadoo grew around the railway, hence why there's a railway museum, because rail was pretty important here. When the rail actually stopped to Millicent, they actually stopped here, and the people from Millicent would have to get off at Kalangadoo and then get bused to Millicent. So they kept the railway going here longer than they did to a larger town. But it's got Mules Electrical here. Ben Mules was probably the most well-known player from here. He won the male medal as an 18-year-old and went on to play over 200 games for Glencoe and is in their Hall of Fame. That's true. They don't have a shortage of seats. They've literally got heaps here. So if maybe some of the grounds are short, come to Kalangadoo. It's got East up here. They play women's, do they?
Like under there.
Clybe. Yeah. I think they play in the women's league. Okay, that's more sketchy than I remember it being, but yeah, Kalangadoo won I think it was the A grade and the B grade 2 years ago.
Yeah, and this scoreboard looks like this. What's going on? What's going on, Kalangadoo? You want to talk about it?
Now, I'm coming here because this is, oh my god, how old is this record? 2013, this record is. Over 10 years old. We got one thing the Mid-South East calls itself is the Family League. Probably they're better for families than where is it? There we go. The Mid-South East, the Family League. That's what they brand themselves. Dylan Bromley was the leading goal scorer at that stage for Port Mac. There you go. It is a little bit more old school here. We're literally out in the paddocks at the moment, but there is a bit of a town at Kalangadoo with like a pub and a shop and that. The cricket club don't play anymore. But yeah, very small old goals. Oh, lovely. Drop down on this end.
I'm putting a lower rating on this ground than I would on Tant. I think.
Really?
I think so. Oh no, the facilities are better though, aren't they?
I would say the facilities a bit better.
Look nice. This area of the ground.
That's more here and it's more upgraded here.
Yeah, the ground itself, I'd probably put Tant up.
The 10 scoreboard's definitely better.
Yeah, way better.
Unless they might wheel in a scoreboard here, you don't know sometimes. So this is actually called Benny's Hill. Not to be confused with the old school TV show. Fridge is empty, thankfully. Now can you spin the wheel for us? We got Jesus umpire, who's on him. God knows what this all means. It's called the Figometer. This nice, keep going. This is not a level.
Jesus umpire.
I think that's meant to happen. Can it not land on Jesus umpire the way it's weighted?
Jesus umpire.
And the winner is... Oh.
Get him off.
Get him off. Okay. It's not rigged. It's not
No,
rigged.
it's not rigged.
He really wants to go to Jesus umpire.
Benny's Hill. If you want to see the Benny's Hill video, go check out the Yarns TikTok. They just filmed a very high quality video there. You should definitely check it out. Kalangadoo probably has the most Amy Stadium seats apart from Amy Stadium itself back in the day.
It wasn't Amy Stadium.
Yeah, well nowadays it's just houses there. But yeah, there's no shortage. Some there, Some there, all around the oval.
They must have got one.
Some on Benny's Hill. Yeah.
Premiership or something.
Yeah. They dished them out, and there's a couple next to the scoreboard, of course, as well. So actually the new change rooms are there, and then these are the old ones. And Sav's time box is on the top. Timekeeper's box. I believe he's also the guy that runs the Heritage Museum for the railway as well. So he does the timekeeping here too. There's even a magpie on the timekeeper's box as a wind buddy gauge. And under my car, you wouldn't believe it, a ton of magpies. Kalangadoo lives up to its name.
This didn't happen at Mount Burr.
Yeah.
Well, at least one magpie can live up.
We're at Glencoe. We didn't get hassled by Irish.
Load of shit.
Ham, chicken, and salad.
Sounds like Broomie.
This is 0.
There's a passionate gravy man himself.
Trade chips, $5. Calm down.
Ah,
$5.
That's alright. Alright. You go back up to a 5. They go back up to a 5. It's alright. They almost lost all respect.
Netball here, and there's actually a bowls club behind it, but there's no chewing gum allowed on the course, or football boots, but chewing gum specifically is kind of weird.
And they got their bin from Warrnambool.
Yes, right. A Warrnambool bin.
Unique, I guess.
We're not really that close. Here we are at Nangwarry. They're the Saints.
I don't like this place.
He just lost his goal kicking challenge
I
here.
haven't lost
But,
it yet.
yeah, the Saints, they joined in 1947, another club that joined after the Second World War. And they played until 1957 and then had a few years off and returned in 1965. So probably not the strongest club in their entire history, but in the 90s, Nangwarry actually won 4 premierships in that era, so they were really successful then. And just last year, their under-17s actually made the grand final, and I saw a winning game here. So after the 90s, Nangwarry were really successful. Into the 2000s, they played in 3 grand finals, and unfortunately one of them was a draw. They had to replay it the next week and then ended up losing that.
Typical Saints thing, isn't it?
It is actually St Kilda, unfortunately. But yeah, that was a strong period for them. And then, unfortunately, from 2014 to 2022, they lost 102 games in a row.
Yeah, it took Dane Swan.
104 games in a row, it was. Yeah. So eventually they did win, which was good, and they've done a little bit better since then, I think.
Dane Swan played for him for 1 game.
Yeah.
That would have at least got them some revenue.
Yeah, helped out a bit.
Yeah, that.
Also, the scoreboard blew over just after the final they had here end of last year, but it looks alright now. They must have fixed it somehow. But also, cricket pitch here is covered up, so I don't think they've played cricket here for a very long time. There is a nets here, but they're overgrown and no longer used. Nangwarry used to have a, oh my god, you kicked that. They used to have a timber mill here until 2019. That closed. So lots of forest here, but there's no timber mill here anymore. Yeah, so this blown over just a matter of a few months ago, and they've fixed it up since then. Must be a bit of wood at the back holding it up, I think. This one's locked up, so we can't get into it, of course, but there you go, bit of some poles. Bit of wood holding it up.
Oh dear.
Is it drilled into the post?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah. That's all good. It's all standing for now anyway, so that's good. Here you can see where the cricket pitch was, but it's been covered up. Change rooms over there, and then you got the netball. Some good lighting on that tower actually. Alright, last up we're finishing up with Tarpeena. So not a current club.
The Roos.
They were the Kangaroos.
Lemon in Tarpeena.
Something about lemons anyway. But they were the Canaries initially and wore Hawthorn jumpers for much of their career, or much of their time playing in the mid-southeast, and then came back as the Kangaroos for the past couple of years of their existence. But there's 300 people here. A big employer is Timberlink. Timberlink. A lot of people from the Mount work there.
They need to bring a team back here. That's the mission. The Tarpeena Cricket Club came back and those guys have been absolutely great. They need to bring a footy club back. Bit more work.
Yeah.
A lot more work would be cool.
It would be unreal if it did come back. But the one issue Tarpeena had is that they actually have the Australian record for the most losses in a row of a senior football side.
More than Nangers.
More than Nangers. So Nangers just down the road had 104. Guess how many Tarpeena had?
200.
121 they had. In between 93 and 2001.
And the fact that they're 10, 15 k's away from each other in the whole of the country.
Yeah. It's
There's something about the area.
well, yeah, for some reason. We won't suggest any reasons. I guess it's how it turned out. Anyway, Tarpeena finished up in the early 2000s and it's probably the best form of footy ground in the region because there's one end here with no point post. Down the other end, I think there's just 2 point posts. So it's quite strange to see that. Old tennis court here as well.
Yeah, have been abandoned for at least the last 10 years. I've played it. Well,
It's close
10,
to
so
square.
yeah, about
Yeah,
10 to 12 years, I'd say.
yeah.
Just off memory.
Yeah, so they actually are wooden goalposts. They're that old. We're in a timber industry area. And they've got the wooden goalposts. They remind me of Bessie Bell. Bessie Bell actually near Portland in Victoria have very similar ones.
Unique, didn't it?
It is unique, yeah.
Ooh, well, that's a spider.
Next goalpost.
But yeah, pretty retro to see these ones.
How sick is that?
Early 2000s, late 90s Kangaroos pre-season, but in the Hawks colours. So that's what they wore for the last few years. Prior to that, they just wore Hawks jumpers, but they were known as the Canaries and had the Tweety Bird logo. Funnily enough.
Bring it back, Tarpeena.
Ozpine as the sponsor, the old, that's what they used to call the timber mill. The most notable player from Tarpeena was Darren Mansell. He had a heap of brothers that played here as well, but he played over 100 games for Glencoe in the 80s and 90s. The old scoreboard's still here, Pines Hotel. So there is a pub here. The primary school was closed down about 15 years ago. But we're not too far from Mount Gambier. In here we can see
No.
Tarpeena. They used to have counter tees. Ozpine, the old sponsor. This is pretty cool. Some of the old motivational sayings. No pain, no gain. I'm sure you'd agree to all that, Brad.
Oh yeah.
Physical pain can't stop you if your mental outlook is strong enough. Adam Richards, Stephen Just
Yeah,
is the
they're all
guy
the
that
cricketers.
he's the guy that organises, isn't it?
Yeah, they're on the cricketers.
Adam Richards,
That's
Adam
almost enough
Todd,
there for a football team. Let's get it together.
Jane Brugger. Yeah, if we get them playing football, there might be a club starting up soon. So you can actually camp here. There's always a few caravans here, but Tarpeena Football Club sign still remains. It actually used to be a big arch as you enter the ground with. Here was the school until 2011, and it looks like it's someone owns it now, privately owned. Last time I remember being here, it looked abandoned, so it's good that someone's using it at least. Here's some of the Tarpeena history, and it says sports club established in 1928 to 1947. That's a big gap, but anyway, the Ash Wednesday bushfires went through here in 1983. Unfortunately, they claimed one life along with 24 buildings, and the football ground was actually a bit of a safe haven. I believe the town congregated on the oval because it was green, because there were such devastating bushfires and we're in an area with a lot of forest. They affected Tarpeena quite badly. I never noticed this artwork on the hole before. It's right next to the ground. They've actually got Tarpeena players here. So originally they wore a V design, and then they changed to the hawthorn stripes, and then the Kangaroos jumper that I have. I actually have one of the hawthorn jumpers as well in my collection, but this is pretty sick artwork. It's got the netball there and some cricket, some premiers. So we got some tennis. The last Mid-South East football premiership was 1974, and then cricket, they won the Jim Butchard Shield in 89-90, along with some other ones there. All right, that's it. Thanks everyone for watching. Appreciate you guys joining me. It's been good. It's been a long trip. Thankfully we got to every ground all right.